If I gave him my heart in his direction, is his love strong enough for my heart's protection?
So I was raised by classical musicians, but I knew very young that I was not a classical musician. And I played instruments as a kid, flute, piano, but then when I was 12, I just fell in love with R&B and soul and pop music, and I knew singing in, in a mall, like there was a karaoke machine in a shopping center, and I sang a Madonna song, and I came home and I said, I know what I'm gonna do with my life. So that was it for me. I sort of knew. And then I think once you know as a child what your passion is, it's very hands-on and physical because you're practicing all the time. It's certainly emotional because you are in love with this thing that no one or nothing can compare to, but it's also kind of a spiritual experience because it's art and nothing can compare. It's such a long process making albums because it starts, the first 20 years of your life. You're creating your skill, you're writing your songs, you're learning how to sing, you're getting life experience. And then when you do your next album, your second album, you have to write it really fast and produce it. I know everybody kind of struggles with this. So my first, I was really young and I had record deals and big pop record deals with MTV and things, and then it kind of comes into your life really fast, and then it also leaves your life really fast. So when you get dropped from your first record deal, which everybody goes through, it's kind of the thing that puts the scars on your soul, and then you kind of get over it and you're like, okay, now my life can begin. Now who am I? Not with what a record company is telling you to do or what to wear, what to sing. Now you really have to do the soul searching of who you are as an artist. So after that I got into kind of going back to some of my roots, which is more blues and jazz and soul music. And then I knew that's where my life was. I've done maybe 5 albums, and the last one was with a great guitarist and good friend of mine named Charlie Hunter, who was just him and me and a drummer touring everywhere, all over Europe, all over America. But it makes a difference when you learn about your own voice when there are less people on stage, because your voice is also an instrument and it takes up a different kind of space. So for one of my favorite jobs that I had for a long time actually was singing background vocals for Rod Stewart. And that was amazing to sing with him around the world, and I think he taught me so much as a singer, as a performer, as a business person, and I learned about the road. And then I remember I had other songs to write. I had other shows that I had to do for myself, so I had to eventually quit his band and do my own thing, because that's what it's kind of all about. And then I sang background vocals for Celine Dion on her album from a few years ago, and that was also such a learning. I learned so much just from singing with her and imitating her voice on a record. And I also, one of my favorite projects is working with the band Snarky Puppy. Those are really family kind of friends, and the work part is just, you really feel like you're just, music is, I feel lucky because music is a job, but it's also my hobby. So it never feels like work. Influences, I have so many influences. Today I was listening to Alabama Shakes, who I love that band. Yesterday it was Bjork, the day before it was Led Zeppelin, and a few days ago I was listening to Chopin piano sonatas with my boyfriend. So every day is really different. I love Cuban music, I love flamenco, I love opera. I'm raised with a classical household with my parents being classical musicians, but it also exposed me to thinking not traditionally. My mother was also a belly dancer, so we had a lot of Middle Eastern music in the house. And then, Michael Jackson, and then Prince. So I was exposed to different types of music very young, and I feel like they all affect me as a singer, as an artist. But one thing I know you do have to really stand up for and be sure of is that you love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, don't expect anyone else to love what you do. It's on this alone. But the hard thing about relationship with your music is that it can, get in the way of a social life or a relationship, or if you have children, there's a hard balance with all of that in your life. But you can make it work, but you have to make room for it all. I am going to perform a collection of different songs that I've recorded. Some of the songs I've not recorded yet, so the only time I really get to sing them is live. And because right now there's not a lot of shows going on, every show is like really special to us.